Hey everyone, this is Avinash back with another video. In this video, let's discuss more about how to get started. So now let's discuss about ChatGPT, the interface. So now if you see, I have a plus subscription. I take this because there are many benefits and many better things that you could do with GPT-4 rather than GPT 3.5, right? So for example, you have something called code interpreter, which will discuss in depth for the coders out there. This is going to be better, but although it has just code, the word code, it's not just for the coders, it's for everyone else. It's how you could make ChatGPT interpret sorry interpret your content. It can be data visualization, it can be code, it can be so many different things. So we'll go in depth in some other video. It's just about showing you things inside ChatGPT 4, right? So when you go to the plugins, the reason why ChatGPT can be huge is because of the use of plugins. Like you just like App Store, now ChatGPT has you know a ChatGPT store or something like that. Where you'll be finding 86 into 8, approximately 500 plugins out there. So you see 86 plugins from vidIQ to so many plugins you will be seeing here. Soon Wasco plugin also will be available inside the ChatGPT. We applied for the ChatGPT. We should see how many days they take to get our Wasco chatbot approved to be you know inside of ChatGPT. Okay, so we have inside of 3.5, you just need to type simple things like, say, write me a poem with poem with with only words that start with A. You say that, if you see this, you are getting some words that are not starting with A. Maybe it's off, maybe it's they, maybe it's displays, right? But let's just see when you use 3 point, just ChatGPT 4, let me a poem which starts A. It's more creative. It strives its best to just use A everywhere it can. See, so there is no other word, very few, maybe in affinity. If you see, just out of 8 lines, maybe it used one act in affinity, but I would consider, yeah. So most of the words are starting with A here. So the reason I'm showing you the difference between 3.5 and 3.4, it's just more creative. That's what I wanted to say. And for the people who are using 3 4 but don't know how to use code interpreter, or how to install code interpreter, it's very simple. Go to your settings tab and go to your beta features. You can switch on the toggle plugins plus code interpreter, so that you will have this turned on in your the main section. So you have your general settings. You can just check your themes. You can clear all your chart at once. If you feel you have a lot of spam, you can data control. You can just delete your account, switch off your chart history and training. If you don't want your data to be trained upon from ChatGPT, you can just toggle off all. So if you are working for a private company or in any company that doesn't allow and very strict with data policy, you can maybe switch it off, and then do other best practices to maintain the best things with your you know company, right? So let's discuss. So I think that's all. You click on it, you just do it, and you'll get it. And one thing I would like to say is, imagine you wrote 300 lines of or 300 words of your input, but then you figure out you saw that there might be a small problem. Instead of copy pasting everything and then pasting it here, you can simply use this edit feature, where you can just change your word to B and save submit, and you will get the entire input again. So that this is little easier than copy pasting the entire thing, especially for someone who is making hundreds and hundreds words of lines. Like, if you're writing like 1,000 word prompts, uh, it's a little difficult to copy paste entire thing. Instead, you can just read it here, edit it, and then submit, and then again it will give you the other output. And then if you want to say stop generating, you can stop generating. You can regenerate the response if you want to regenerate it. I know these are very basic, but we might have people that don't even know the basic knowledge because they never even touch the tool but want to be a prompt engineer. So for them, I need to say. And then if you want to share your charts, you need to install a plugin called, there is this plugin called Share GPT. So that, maybe if you want to give that chart to us and maybe ask us for a review or something, you can just click on the share button, and you'll get a link like that. You can just copy it and give it to us, or even your friend, for better understanding of the whole thing, right? So that's about it. You just have this window, you can insert the new thing and you can just scroll it off, and then that's it. Like, frankly speaking, it's self-explanatory and very easy to use ChatGPT. So now, many of you might have a question that should I take GPT-4? What are the uses and stuff like that? I showed you just some small practical example. Like, if GPT 3.5 is not following our instructions for 8 times in 8 lines by using different word other than starting with A, GPT-4 only used once. So it's a lot better in that way. So I'll also show you a few more differences. So GPT claims that like ChatGPT or OpenAI claims that GPT-4 is 10x more powerful than GPT 3.5. Then parameters value. Remember in the masterclass, I told you what are parameters. Parameters are nothing but ChatGPT or OpenAI is saying that generative AI algorithm inside transformers. It's just saying that different ways to comprehend the data they're already giving. It's just like, okay, this is this, this is that, you should do this, you should do that. They're like instructions. The more instructions OpenAI gives to the algorithm, the better performance it gives as the output. So 175 billion parameters were used for 3.5, whereas more than few trillion parameters were used for 4. So it's almost 10x more parameters, and of course 10x more data, all that. And then it's multimodal functionality. So ChatGPT right now, as of today, might not have an ability to read images and stuff like that, but it was created to read your images and kind of understand images also. It can understand images, it can understand videos in very near future, maybe with the update of 4.5 or something before 5. They actually need to release it with 4 itself, but maybe I don't know what issues they faced in releasing it, but then they just said that it will be released with 4.4 4.5 or something like that, maybe in the next update. So it's a multi-modal functionality. So it can read images, videos, and understand images and videos, and so that it can give the better understanding and give us the better output. And memory expansion. So ChatGPT 3.5 only remembers the last, say, 8,000 words you gave, whereas GPT-4 remembers the last 64,000 words you gave inside a chat window. Chat window is nothing but just this window. Like, if you see any content, say, I just asked I created an online course, what should I say the induction, and it gave me these other things you could say in your induction class. And maybe if I ask more and more questions, the chat goes to so much deep. It remembers the last usage of 64,000 words, which means a lot, approximately like a book or a couple of books kind of a size. So yeah, so you might be thinking, what's the use of ChatGPT remembering more things? The thing is, having knowledge and having memory are slightly different in this case. ChatGPT having knowledge about any topic in the world to a very deep extent is its knowledge. But then memory about your context, what are you asking for? And you might be given a role at the beginning, act as mathematician, and you're asking all the complex topics, and then it's after 10,000 words, it might forget that it's a mathematician, the role you gave as a mathematician, and suddenly behaves something like a new person. So that shouldn't happen, right? So for that reason, having more memory, is always the better for ChatGPT. So that's the memory expansion thing. And also ChatGPT has multiple languages. It can even write in Telugu, Hindi, and few Indian languages, along with other international languages like French, German, Spanish, with 25 other languages additional to English. So ChatGPT 4 is just better than ChatGPT 3 when it comes to multilingual proficiency. And stability, it's just, stability is nothing but it's just so good. You have more control to your responses, and you you can expect it to be more creative and more comprehend. You can like when you give input, it can comprehend in your input in a very detailed and a better way. So that's the power of GPT-4 when you compare with 3.5. And search capability. Now, with 3.5, you can't search or browse from the internet, but with 4 GPT-4, you can search from the internet, so that the data from 3 point, like after 2021, is also accessible, and you can ask in decent questions. But for only limited amount of time, they removed this browsing feature even for 3.4 users, like even for GPT-4 users. There used to be another feature here where default code interpreter, browsing, and then plugins, but then they just deleted the browsing feature temporarily because of some reasons they might be facing right now, but eventually you'll get it back. So all these features, code interpreter, plugins, or browsing feature, or extra capability, is not there in this free version 3.5, which is only available in 4. So yes, if you ask me that, can't I use some free alternative? You can, but you will not get this option to use plugins anywhere else as of today, and maybe also code interpreter. Apart from that, you can get the browsing feature and default feature directly, but everything else you can only get in GPT-4. And quite frankly, plugins are actually wonderful. So if you are someone who can afford $20 per month and don't mind wasting $20 once just to test it out and see it for yourself, I would highly, highly recommend you to do this. And if you're a student or in a very low paying job, start your journey with 3.5, and eventually, when you're super comfortable, then take GPT-4 once you complete the whole course, which is AI blueprint, and then complete after completing prompt engineering. Okay. So I guess that's all. I just wanted to show the whole overview of ChatGPT and explain you the differences between 3.4 and 3.5 and GPT-4, GPT 3.5 and GPT-4, and that's it. So I am not going in depth because we have so many in-depth videos coming in the future. That's it for this video, folks. See you in the next video. Bye bye.